Effective communication underpins all of the children's learning so deeply. If they don't have those skills, they're simply not in a position to move onwards.
We are in a highly deprived area, 10% most deprived in the country. Very poor language skills.
So when we took the data back to them and said 60% of your class have got a delay with language, probably practitioners on the ground were not surprised. People outside of that who probably haven't got sort of direct contact with children were surprised, horrified, but then motivated to do something about it. With the new pot of funding for school readiness, we wanted something that got a really strong research base, and actually the Nuffield Early Language Intervention was the only one that had got randomised control trials.
We randomly allocate nurseries or schools to either receive the intervention or not to receive the intervention, and happily we found the interventions to be effective.
I think in the world that we're all in now, we've all got to prove that we're using things based on evidence and good outcomes and that they are cost effective. Actually, sometimes you just need that sort of strength behind the research, I think, before you can introduce something that costs, you know, is costing local authority money.
The sorts of techniques we use are the sorts of techniques that speech and language therapists have been using for many years.
People have understood for many years the importance of vocabulary, the importance of training narrative. This is the first evidence-based programme that's available.
We've tried to, if you like, systematise it, put it in a can and give it to schools.
It's all there for you. And as you know, everybody's time is very limited. That I think is a really important factor.
When I first looked at the language that was in the Nuffield, I couldn't quite get my head around why there were those words. But actually, we've been running this now for 3 years, and it's helped us to understand why it's important for them to understand that, because it's language that everybody should know.
Seeing how high their scores are from the sessions, which can be quite intense, I thought, yes, this is brilliant.
And as a result of that, usually they start to make good progress, because the more that they still feel confident, the more language they learn and the more they're sucking it in.
Come and whisper to Mrs. Clowes, what would you like to say? And then I'll say, is it okay if I share that with the group? And then they'll go, yes. And I say, pardon, they'll go, yes. And then over the weeks, you just see them grow and blossom and bloom. And to me personally, that's lovely, it's amazing.
Our dream would be that following the next research study, this programme then could be adopted really very widely in UK primary schools.
I think people can't afford not to invest in early language skills.
And particularly with the new national curriculum being so challenging, you know, history, geography, you name it, science, if they don't understand the language or they don't understand what's asked of them, they're not going to be able to achieve in the same way.
And it's programmes like Nuffield that give you as a professional the tools to give those sort of experiences and those skills to the children.
I start out as a theoretician, but I end up being very interested in the fact that we can make a meaningful difference to large numbers of children's lives.